Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. Congratulations to the East Brunswick High School class of 2013. We have graduation highlights and will let you know when to see it in its entirety. Plus, we visit the Jane Voorhees Zimmerli Art Museum in New Brunswick to learn about a very special exhibit running through September. We also have a brand new segment of Passion with Purpose, and In Our Schools brings us a wonderful performance by the New Jersey Symphony Orchestra at Hammersholt Middle School. So stay with us. East Brunswick High School held the 52nd commencement ceremony this week at the Sun National Bank Center in Trenton. DVD and Blu-ray copies can be purchased at www.ebtv3.org, and EBTV will televise the ceremony in its entirety July 4th through August 8th, Tuesdays at 11 a.m. and Thursdays and Sundays at 8 p.m., and as video on demand at www.ebtv3.org. Congratulations to all the graduating seniors, and here are some of the highlights.
What would you try if you knew you would not fail? Would you take harder classes? Maybe ask that cute girl in English class out? Would you choose a different career? Would you try to change the world? Probably. I probably would have asked the girl out. But in all seriousness, think about how differently you would live. This fear of failure is the only thing keeping us from following our hearts. We act as if failure is fatal, but it's not. Everyone has failed at some point. Here's the secret to never fail. Stay in your seats and never leave this building. You will never be turned down, never be fired, and never be rejected. Yet, this probably seems like not a lot of fun. In fact, it probably feels like a waste of your life. But then again, don't you also waste your life if you never chase anything? Class of 2013, you're each capable of bringing something beautiful into the world. Go find that something and never be afraid to fail.
The best piece of advice I can give to you moving forward is to pay special attention to your relationships, both new and old. Relationships are vital to your emotional health, well-being, and career goals. You may not have realized it at the time, but your friends, your family, and your mentors were a huge part of your success in middle school and high school. The formula doesn't change moving forward. Surround yourself with the right people. This will increase your chance of achieving goals and cultivating organic happiness. You've paid your dues to the tune of 1,000,000 minutes, and this investment in yourself provides a springboard for success in any field, discipline, or passion you choose to chase. While you're in pursuit for your goals, remember those who helped get you here, and start to recognize those who are in the way. Acknowledge the synergy, your hard work, and never forget that these minutes leading to this moment are not the culmination of your learning. The pinnacle is yet to come, and your ascension starts today. Go out and climb, and don't look down. Look to your peers next to you and upwards to where you want to be. We will all be there to cheer you on.
I would now like to challenge the class of 2013 with taking what you have learned academically and about community to make a difference in our world. Mother Teresa stated, "I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples." Class of 2013, I ask you, what will your stone be? How will you cast the stone? What ripples will you create to help your community? However you choose to craft and cast your stone, do it so you give it your all and seek to make our world a better place.
Graduation is a word often used synonymously with the word commencement. It's not the end, but rather the beginning. And with every new beginning comes a feeling of uncertainty. I share that uncertainty with you this morning. Like you, who no longer will be walking the halls of East Brunswick High School, finding comfort in seeing the same people every day, I will not be visiting our 11 schools, finding gratification working with extraordinary staff and board members who work so hard to ensure that our students are successful. I truly believe that if you love what you do, you will never work another day in your life. That certainly worked for me. So I encourage you to follow what you are passionate about. I know if you follow your passion, you will be sure to find happiness. And a happy and a healthy future is what I hope for each and every one of you.
Kira Lee Kevin. Samuel Evan Kafar. Mohammed Ibrahim Khalid. Lena Kalel. Sophia Nicole Korosh.
Hello and welcome to the European Galleries of the Zimmerli Art Museum at Rutgers University. My name is Christine Javiscus and I'm going to talk about an exhibition we have on until September 8th of the work of an artist named Henri Gabriel Ibel. And we are very fortunate to have about 160 works in the collection by this artist who is not such a household name today, but was very famous in the 1890s and early 1900s in Paris. Ibel made his career primarily as a printmaker and as an illustrator, contributing designs to illustrate journals and magazines of the day. This exhibition is focused pretty much on his heyday in the 1890s when his artistic star rose very quickly. Pretty soon after he got out of art school, he was getting important commissions to contribute designs to magazines and independent print commissions. He was a very good friend of the famous artist Henri Toulouse-Lautrec, and they had some similar subject matter in terms of looking at the popular entertainments of Paris and putting them in their work. And they also had very distinct style and very exuberant line that their work is associated with. And I hope you'll see that in some of the works by Ibel today. Ibel's probably first important commission was in 1893 when he was asked to contribute a print to a new publication called L'Estampe Originale, the original print. Ibel very significantly contributed a color lithograph of a circus scene. And it's significant for two reasons. One is the fact that it's a color lithograph. Color lithography had been very associated with commercial work and which is at considered somewhat a lower level than fine art. And Ibel is an artist who is credited with bringing color lithography back to the level of fine art. So it was significant that he contributed a color lithograph to this portfolio, whereas other artists contributed etchings and engravings and more traditional artistic printmaking media. And the second significant is that he included a scene of the circus. And now we Americans think of the circus as being Barnum and Bailey, the circus comes into town, the big top is erected, they stay in town for a few weeks or months, then they go away. But in Paris in the 1890s, the circus was actually a permanent form of entertainment. There were 3 permanent circuses, and they regularly had troops coming in, primarily to perform equestrian events. The color lithograph that Ibel created for L'Estampe Originale is considered one of the landmarks of color lithography in this period, and certainly a masterpiece of Ibel's career. And when you come and see the print in person, you'll see just how incredible the color effects are. It's almost like a drawing in the way that the colors are layered, and that his really strong graphic style comes out in this particular print. So about a year later, Ibel had his first one-man exhibition. At this point, Ibel is very well known for his images of cafe singers and actors on the stage, and he's becoming more known for his circus prints. But very interestingly, he decides to debut a series of etchings at this exhibition called Les Foraines, which translates to the fairs. And there was a very specific type of performer that often entertained at these fairs. They were traveling performers, and they did the kinds of acts that today we associate with the circus, but we might think of them more as the types of sideshows, such as really brawny men lifting heavy things, tattooed people, those kinds of attractions. And Ibel focused on these types of performers in this series of 14 etchings. The series of etchings features both, as I mentioned, the strong men. It features sort of performers sort of standing around, looking a little bored. So he's not only capturing them in mid-performance, but also in sort of those middle periods where they're not on stage and sort of trying to get at their emotional state. It's also interesting to see in the prints some of the performers also acting as barkers or trying to drum up the business to attract the fairgoers to come see their performances. The Zimmerli Art Museum at Rutgers is located at 71 Hamilton Street on the university's College Avenue campus in New Brunswick. The museum is open September through July. That means we're closed in August. And our hours are Tuesday through Fridays, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and Saturdays and Sundays, noon to 5. We are closed Mondays, major holidays. The Zimmerli signature event is Art After Hours. The Zimmerli is holding a special Art After Hours on Wednesday, July 10th from 5 to 9 p.m. to celebrate the opening of a new exhibition, Maples in the Mist, Chinese Poems for Children, illustrated by Jean and Musen Tseng. Featuring artwork from the museum's extensive collection of original children's book illustrations, it will be an exciting summer event for families. In the fall, Art After Hours will resume its regular schedule on the first Wednesday of the month from 5 to 9 p.m. The museum's website is www.zimmerlimuseum.rutgers.edu. From there, you can link to our Facebook and Twitter pages. The Zimmerli's phone number is 848-932-7237.
Hi, I'm Cindy O'Connor with another edition of Passion with Purpose, and we're here today to talk about the healing power of nature. Joining me today is someone who's really passionate about this topic, Elaine Egidio. She's a shamanic practitioner, a board-certified dance therapist, and a licensed professional counselor. Welcome, Elaine.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you.
So what can you tell us about the healing power of nature?
Well, there's been so many studies on how important it is to be outside in nature, to be outside in weather. It helps your mental health. It also helps to speak to your soul, to speak to that part of you that's just longing for something to come fill you. So to be able to go outside first thing in the morning and take a beautiful deep breath, no matter what the weather is, and just say, good morning, good morning. And I'm in gratitude for my life, for being here. It just uplifts you instead of going, oh, what a crummy day. So just to be outside or to be by a tree and put your back to a tree and feel yourself rooted, just like the tree is, into the earth, deep into the earth. Did you know that the roots of trees are connected to each other? And I read the other day that plants click in their roots to communicate with each other. Isn't that great?
Yeah, they're discovering new things every day about plant communication. Yeah.
And yet, as a shamanic practitioner, we already knew that everything has a spirit. Everything that's alive has a soul. And so we already knew, or at least our ancestors did, that everything could communicate with each other in different ways, of course. We don't go up to a tree and expect it to talk back to us, but we can sense it if we touch it. And the other thing I love about trees is the resiliency. Have you ever seen a tree that's hollow, maybe up to here, and then you look up and there's all these beautiful buds or trees or leaves or flowers? What resiliency that is. What a beautiful lesson for us as humans.
Now, as a counselor and a practitioner, how do you bring nature into play for your clients?
Well, I encourage them to go out, to take walks. There's local woods. If they're feeling a little bit like they can't go into walks, many times we've done our sessions walking through the woods or taking people down to the beach and just letting them feel the breeze of the ocean. I'm very blessed. I live a couple miles from the ocean, a few blocks from the bay. So to be able to really get that clear, clean air, or just to go outside. I tell them, just go outside and just say, just clear me. And a little wind will usually come up and just clear you off, and it just uplifts them, and they come back and they say, oh, thank you. That felt so good. Yeah.
Now, is this true for people of a certain age, or?
Oh, for everybody, for everybody. So many people think that children, oh, you know, remember those magical friends we used to have as kids? Well, our kids still have them, but we let them enjoy that through video games. But my clients that'll take their kids outside, or the kids that I'm working with that I encourage their parents to take them out, it's just a whole different, feel. Something shifts within them. So little ones, I love watching parents walking their children through the woods. I was in Miami. I was in the middle of the financial district the other day, and this man said, oh, I know a place you can find nature right up about 15 minutes up the road. He goes, I take my children in there all the time. So right in the middle of bustling Miami, I walked into what they call a hammock, and immediately, you know, and that's what he said with his children. Immediately, there's just this feeling of well-being, and it reminds us that we are all connected. We are all connected. It's not us and them. Where it's this relationship that's just so beautiful and powerful.
What can you say about this relationship on a daily basis? What would you like people to know about how their lives can be improved by focusing on the relationship?
Well, I think if you try to go outside and spend a few minutes either breathing or going to a tree, putting your back against a tree, and just allowing yourself to be and to notice very quietly what's around you. Notice what little plants are there, or notice the little wind. And all of a sudden, you get that sense that I'm not alone. You know, so many times we hear people say, I'm all alone, or I have this hole in me. I can't, you know, I just feel like I'm not part of something. And so to be outside allows you to see that you are part of many, many, many things. And I have these special woods I walk in, and every time I take someone else, we find something new.
So what do you say to people now? I don't hear this so much as I used to anymore, but when you hear that comment about tree huggers, how do you respond?
Oh, you know what? I mean, I've been hugging trees since the 60s. Well, actually, even before. I can remember when I was 4, and parents out there, pay attention to your children. I can remember when I was 4, and I would love to just dance outside. I had a special tree I hid in, and laying on my back and watching the clouds. If you have a question in your heart, if you go outside and look up at the clouds and just say that question to yourself, or even out loud, you would be surprised what the clouds have to say.
If people would like to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Well, you can go to my website, which is dancingwindstherapy.com. You could email me at info@dancingwindstherapy.com, or you could call me at 732-291-0379.
We have just about a minute remaining, and I want to hear a little bit about your dance therapy work as well.
Oh, thank you. Well, as a dance therapist, I work with people's emotional and psychological well-being using movement or paying attention to where the movement is in the body. That's why knowing shamanism and the movement therapy is so wonderful for me. And to see where people might be stuck, and even just to help people be aware of their bodies. It's such a wonderful thing to teach someone even to just breathe well into your belly and allow that whole fragmented energy come back down to being very quiet and still. Teaching that to parents, teaching it to children, it's just wonderful.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Cindy.
In Our Schools has us here with Jeff Lesser, the Supervisor of Arts in East Brunswick Public Schools. And we're here to talk about an event that happened on Friday, April 26th, actually. And you brought the New Jersey Symphony Orchestra here to East Brunswick, right here in our own backyard. And we had a full house at the East Brunswick Performing Arts Center, and it was quite a night.
This was actually in planning for almost 2 years. We originally brought in last year the New Jersey Youth Symphony, whose director is one of the education directors for the New Jersey Symphony, and we started talking about it then. And we came up with this great plan to combine an orchestra festival, a high school orchestra festival, with a concert by the New Jersey Symphony Orchestra. So it was a very long day, but we had students here from 9 New Jersey high schools.
And how many orchestras? It was more than that.
Well, yeah, they each brought an orchestra. In fact, one high school brought 2 orchestras, and they also brought string quartets. And so we had a total of 20 groups performing. At 3 o'clock, we had a very special treat. We had Jonathan Spitz, who is the principal cellist of the orchestra, who was performing the Rococo Variations by Tchaikovsky that evening. So he talked a little bit about his performance that evening. He also listened to a couple of our string quartets.
This is a very challenging movement. It has some of the same qualities of both of the other pieces we've heard. It really needs the kind of elegance that I was talking about with Mozart, and because it's high, there are a few moments. It's not exactly a question of humor, it's more a question of kind of surprise, that when he does something that's not quite what we expect, we want to really make sure that we understand that and show it to the audience.
An awards ceremony at 5:30, and then we served dinner to about 450 students and their chaperones, thanks to Carrabba's here in town and McDonald's, both on Route 18. They did a great job in helping us provide that dinner. And then we had a concert by the New Jersey Symphony, an all Tchaikovsky program. It was a fantastic concert. I was just amazed by the level of performance. It really is a great orchestra. Jacques Lacombe came in and conducted, and it was just a great evening for everybody. They were very impressed too with the principal cellist and his performance, and just a great evening for everybody. Opening remarks in the concert, I mentioned, you know, as a trumpet player, one of my idols is Wynton Marsalis, and he coined a term called cultural bankruptcy, and he told us to avoid cultural bankruptcy by, you know, going to more symphony orchestra concerts, by going to art museums, to seeing the ballet, etc. And so I was impressed that we could provide that opportunity to students. And by the way, a big part of this too was the East Brunswick Education Foundation, who, you know, got behind this, and we couldn't have done it without them. But we were able to provide this opportunity for that theater seats 1,000 people. It was packed, and
students saw the New Jersey Symphony for $10.
Yeah, well, that's, you know, that's another great thing too, is if you were to go to NJPAC to see the New Jersey Symphony, you would be paying triple, quadruple the prices to see the orchestra there. You'd be driving all the way up there. You'd be paying for parking and tolls. This was, like you said, right in our own backyard. A phenomenal experience and opportunity for our students and for the students who attended the orchestra festival.
Right. I saw a couple of younger students, elementary age students, in the very front row who were just mesmerized. And, you know, those are the kinds of things that as I looked around, I saw that I took away from me. It truly was an arts and education experience for all of us. And
yeah, one of the things that we encouraged our teachers to do was to let, you know, the community know that this was coming here. You know, our youngest string students, they were definitely made aware of that opportunity.
And there were some there.
There were. Very happy with that. And actually our music faculty was out there in great numbers and, you know, served as chaperones, and, you know, it was definitely a community event.
It was. They were out mingling during dinner, and I think it was really, truly an amazing event. You forgot one thing.
What's that? In
between dinner and the New Jersey Symphony Orchestra, we also had a treat because we heard from the...
That's right. We had exemplary ensembles. So the judges listened to those 20 groups, and we picked one quartet and one orchestra to perform. And then we had already planned to have our own chamber orchestra perform, but one of the treats was that the judge for the quartet room thought one of our quartets was so good that it should be heard as well. So congratulations to the Cherry Hill East High School String Quartet and Orchestra. They were the exemplary groups chosen, as well as our own string quartet and our chamber orchestra, also quite awesome. We sort of eliminated them from the competition because, you know, we were the hosts. So, but everybody got a chance to hear those exemplary groups, and they were very impressed.
Including many community members who got there in time to hear that. So, you know, I just want to repeat again, thanks to Carrabba's and McDonald's, of course, and many, many thanks to the East Brunswick Education Foundation, who truly does support the arts here. So, yeah, yes. Great group, and just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day and night. So, thank you for that.
Thank you.